Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Marcia Weeks, and this is today's edition of The Link. What is the link? The link is when we are connecting one Caribbean island to another Caribbean island at a time. One Caribbean island connected to the next Caribbean island. And that is what we call the link. And we are a strong chain, you all. And we're seeing the strength of that chain as we've come together to help Cuba, Haiti, and Jamaica in this aftermath of Melissa, where we've had quite numbers who have died. I think between the three islands, we are probably near, probably about 80 persons have died so far as a result of Melissa. Well, I am very happy to join you today, and of course, as I always say, welcome, and we ask you to like and to share. It's the middle of the day, but we believe that it's so important that we come together. It's lunchtime. Some of you might be having your lunch. What are you having for lunch today? Huh? Some roti, curry roti. In Trinidad, what you having in that roti? Duck, curry duck. Are you in? I know in Jamaica things are really hard for people. People, there's a lot of sharing and a lot of caring happening. And while this lunchtime, there might be some in Kingston that, they're having their regular lunch. Where is it ackee and saltfish and fried dumplings? Or is it mackerel, salt mackerel and green bananas? What is it you're having in Jamaica for your lunch as you listen to us? But we know some parts of Jamaica, for example, Montego Bay, St. Elizabeth, Black River in particular. Lots of these places, are experiencing a lot of trauma and tragedy without food, without water, even as we talk about lunch on this wonderful day today, Thursday, November 6th. There are people who they don't even have lunch. They don't have water. That's what's happening here in the Caribbean. Those in Cuba who are still underwater, still without their roofs. Those in Haiti still wading in water, guys. And so today we are coming together. We are locking arms together as one Caribbean. One Caribbean. We face the threat of even war in our region. So we have the threat of the hurricanes, which we're accustomed to. But now we also have the threat of war in our region. And so today we're talking about under the surface. Under the surface. Power, peace, U.S. submarines in the Caribbean. Now, before we delve into the whole issue of war, I want to say to those who you might want to donate. You're figuring, how do I donate to Jamaica, for example? How do I donate to Haiti? How do I donate to Cuba? What I want to say to everybody who's listening, find legitimate organizations within these countries. As a general rule, somebody puts something out on the internet, you see something on TikTok, you see something come to you on WhatsApp. I would strongly suggest that you do not use those, sources then, or places, or, that information. Don't use that as the means of donating. Find legitimate sources that are legitimate organizations within your country. Go to your, whether it is whatever department in your country that deals with these kinds of relief efforts, and find legitimate organizations. There is a lot of scamming that is happening, and we don't want you scammed. Okay, so it's important that you do that. You might know of a church in the communities, whether it's in St. James or, in St. Elizabeth, wherever in the Western parishes, you might have, there's a church there that you might want to connect with. A lot of times the churches are connecting directly with with those who are in need of the help. And so I suggest that you try to go directly through a church if you can, or find in your country organizations that your country, your government is dealing with directly. You see, because it might be a little more legitimate than something that you find online. Because at this time, we all are trying to reach out. I know it's difficult sometimes to get information concerning Cuba and Haiti, but please don't forget about them. Ask your officials in your country about Haiti and also Cuba. They are part of us. We're one Caribbean, and that's why today we're talking about the link. Anybody out there feeling the link? If you're feeling that link at this time, can I see a thumbs up, please? Those of you feeling the link, give me a thumbs up, please. Well, as I said earlier, I'm Marcia Weeks from the Marcia Weeks Show, and I'm a co-host for The Link. And my other co-host, Mr. Ernest Cook, he's from St. Vincent Times, and he'll be joining us shortly. But let's go into just do an overview of what we are going to be discussing today. Now, unless you're under a rock, Caribbean, we all know that tensions are rising in this region. As the United States expands its naval presence in the Southern Caribbean, we're also hearing of Russia, that Russia is now here to support Venezuela. And as the U.S. is expanding its naval presence in the Southern Caribbean, and many are biting their nails and wondering, are we really going to war? Do we have to deal with the hurricane, and do we have to deal with war at the same time? We question the role of the regional security systems. And what is it really? When we say the regional security system, what is that? What is Barbados' role in this impending war? We see the Prime Minister saying, Barbados Prime Minister joins with the other prime ministers in CARICOM, and they said, listen, this is a zone of peace. But what is or has been Barbados' role in this impending war? And in Trinidad and Tobago, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar faces mounting backlash after voicing support for U.S. narcotics, anti-narcotics action. We listen sometimes in horror at the fierce criticism that she's drawing from Venezuelan officials and citizens alike. And the question is really, is this justified diplomatic outrage, or has it turned into a personal and political attack? We're going to discuss that today here on The Link as you join Marcia Weeks, yours truly, and Ernesta Cook right here on The Link as we unpack these unfolding crises within the region today. Folks, we ask you to join because the big question is, can the Caribbean remain a zone of peace, or are we being drawn into a war we didn't choose? And what about Grenada? What's the decision that the Prime Minister of Grenada has made? What decision has he really made? What is he saying? We want to look at that today. Okay. So look up. Good morning, good afternoon. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Now, before we go any further, I want us to have a discussion together about the RSS. Before I start, I want us to, those of you who are listening, what do you know of the regional security services? What is that really? Anybody? What are the origins and what is the purpose of the RSS? Just before I start, any thoughts out there? No, everybody's shy today. But I want us to take us a little bit down memory lane and do a little history today. The origins and purpose of the RSS. Let's talk about that. Now, RSS stands for Regional Security Services, okay? The Regional Security Services. And the Regional Security Services was created in 1982. 1982, if you can remember, were you around at that time? Were you in high school? I remember I was in secondary school in 1982, and it was the height of the Cold War, right? And at that time, we had a few coups or attempted coups in the Eastern Caribbean. We had what they're calling a coup. We had Maurice Bishop, right? We had that in Grenada at that time. We also had, the attempted coup in Trinidad. Remember that? I remember being in secondary school in Jamaica, St. Andrew High School, in English class when we were discussing that. And this instability and the coups in the Eastern Caribbean, they alarmed regional governments. And guess who else? Our Western allies. Who are these Western allies? Well, the main one was the US. Yeah? The main one was the US became alarmed. And these were our strong allies at this time, okay? And so the RSS began as a mutual defense pact among 7 Eastern Caribbean states. And this is going to be important. What are these 7 Eastern Caribbean states that they form a mutual defense pact? And here the word defense, so we're talking about security. They say, okay, we're going to come together in case there's any kind of impending threats, anything that is pushing against us as a block. We're going to come together and we are going to form this mutual defense pact. And here are the countries: Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The idea, people, it was simple. If any member state faced a crisis, whether a coup, invasion, or natural disaster, the others would come to its aid. It was formally established under a treaty. And by 1996, it was headquartered at the old Paragon base right here in Barbados near Grantley Adams International Airport. Now, fast forward to today. Today, the RSS, the Regional Security Service, functions as the intelligence, important, training, and operational coordinational arm of the Eastern Caribbean. And it has as its motto to preserve the stability and well-being of the region. Now, How many of you knew that history? And I think it's very important for us to talk about this history. This history is important because a lot of us, we just hear RSS and we don't know the history, why it came about, etc. All right, please share up the live. Please share up the live as we continue this little history lesson at the moment. Now, we're going to talk about the RSS and the US connection, and that's where it gets real juicy, people. It gets real juicy here. So while it's made up of all of these Caribbean countries in the east, these Eastern Caribbean countries, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, there has always been a strong US connection and dependence. So while the RSS is technically a Caribbean-led entity, it has long been tied to US strategic interest in the region. So don't fool yourself, because it seemed to be technically a Caribbean-led entity. You see, from 1983 US invasion of Grenada, where RSS personnel played support roles, right? To when they had the joint narcotic operations under the US Southern Command, SOUTHCOM, the RSS has often been the Caribbean face of American military coordination. Now that is important. If you're writing, write that down. The RSS has been, it's important, the face of American military cooperation. We're going to visit this again, guy. Coordination. Already, you should start to put the dots together. In the 2000s, this partnership deepened through CARICOM Impacts, which is the implementation agency for crime and security. And what this the Caribbean Impacts, what it does is that it links Caribbean policing and intelligent databases with the RSS framework. And this alliance and dependence on the US, right, was deepened through the Caribbean Basin Security Initiative. And we've all heard about that. And that was launched in 2010 under President Obama. So when President Obama came into power, that relationship was even deepened, even became stronger. And they channel millions of dollars in training our soldiers, providing surveillance tech for the RSS, and maritime patrols into the RSS network. So remember what we said, the RSS became the face of military, American military coordination in the Caribbean region. And under Obama, they channeled millions of dollars into training, surveillance technology, maritime patrols into the RSS network. So basically, what am I saying? The RSS is not just a regional defense body. The RSS is not just a regional defense body. It's also part of Washington's, of the US, broader hemispheric security grid. Do you hear what I'm telling you? We've got to hold on to that. Very important. Hold on to that piece of information. So whenever the U.S. naval or air operations occur in Caribbean waters, whether anti-narcotics missions or counterterrorism training, the RSS is often notified. Listen again. Whenever U.S. naval or air operations occur in Caribbean waters, Caribbean people, have we been having any U.S. naval or air operations in Caribbean waters recently? Whether they're anti-narcotics missions or counterterrorism training, the RSS is notified. There would have to be. And guess what? Coordination of this runs quietly through a particular Caribbean nation. Let me pause here and see if you can help me to guess that nation. Which Caribbean nation do you think the coordination already occurred? The coordination occurs in. So Nehemiah, you might know, but we want to set the foundation. So I'm getting ready. I see my co-host. He has to tell me if he's ready. Burl Jones said St. Kitts and Nevis. Nehemiah says Barbados. Somebody said Trinidad. Okay. Anybody else? Where do you think this coordination occurs whenever the U.S. is going to deploy any kind of military equipment or do anything military in the region? Where do you think the coordination occurs? Which Caribbean country? Oh, somebody said Venezuela. Somebody said 2 persons says Trinidad. 3 persons, 4. Oh my goodness, Trinidad. Puerto Rico. Interesting. Oh, static said correction, Puerto Rico. Oh, somebody said Grenada or Trinidad. I would want to hear your comments as I wait for Mr. Cook to join us. Grenada or Trinidad. Any more comments out there? Trinidad. Somebody's saying it's either St. Kitts or Jamaica. Jamaica. Somebody said Guyana. Somebody said Jamaica. You're watching this, Mr. Cook, as he prepares. They are guessing they're thinking which country is responsible or is informed or involved in the coordination of what is happening right here in the Caribbean. Somebody said St. Kitts. I mean, the chat is lighting up, Mr. Cook. Oh, somebody says, I'm from Trinidad and it will happen in Trinidad. Mr. Cook, are you ready to come in, sir? Let me know. Yes. Okay. Welcome. I love when my co-host joins me. How are you doing today?
Yeah. Ton load of stuff going on. Um, let me see.
Well,
I'm trying to get a lot of things organized here at the meantime. But yeah,
yeah.
so
Don't
yes,
give them the answer right away, because what I did in while you were you were setting up to come in,
yes.
I was giving them the origins of the RSS and how it currently operates, and the alliances and how it works, and how it's dependent really on the US for training and for financing and equipment, and everything that they need comes from the US basically, right? So we were talking about that, and then I asked a question, which Caribbean country do they think the coordination of the RSS or of any kind of US military operations would occur? So they're guessing, and to bring you up to speed, Mr. Cook, we're here in St. Croix. St. Kitts, Barbados, Trinidad, lots of Trinidad, lots of people saying Trinidad, St. Kitts, people say Jamaica, Guyana, lots of people saying Trinidad, Puerto Rico, Venezuela. I mean, it's going on. One person said Barbados. It's very interesting. Okay, Paula Waller Pride says Barbados. Burl Jones says, I'm not guessing. What did you say, Burl Jones? Oh, Burl Jones is saying it's either St. Kitts or Jamaica. And he's not guessing, he says. I know this is a fact. But should we answer them? Should we?
Yeah. I think you should tell them. I think you should tell them.
Folks, and the two persons got the answer. Two persons.
Wow. Just two
The
persons?
RSS coordination runs quietly through Barbados.
Absolutely correct.
Coordination, any kind of U.S. naval or air operation that occur in Caribbean waters, whether it's narcotics missions or it's counterterrorism training, the RSS is normally notified, and the coordination of it runs quietly through Barbados. Now, some of them said Trinidad. What they must remember is that, Mr. Cook, Trinidad is not even, the RSS is not even set up to defend Trinidad. It is set up to defend Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Small islands.
Yes. Go over to you, sir. you see how they jump on Trinidad.
No, well, everybody is going to jump on Trinidad. I mean, with all the action happening in the region, I think everybody is going to jump on Trinidad, but Trinidad is not really the, But let's get into this whole thing, because this is super exciting stuff, and I think that the region, these are things that people in the region need to know about. The regional security system, as a matter of fact, up to last year, Marcy, I'm not sure if you knew about this one. I think it was October of 2024. Mm-hmm. They actually got some more money from the United States. And yeah, I think it was that's right. They had a October 2024. And I remember Barbados, it was the new ambassador, I think the admiral and the ambassador of Barbados, as of the United States to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. And they signed an agreement, an amended letter actually of agreement, where they gave them an additional 2.6 million in support of enhanced security for the regional security system. I think at the time they were saying that it would assist in addressing what they call the dynamic security issues threatening national development interest of its member states. And also they were saying that the funds at the time would be able to use to advance the RSS priorities in the protection of the shared domestic space and all of that, yada, 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 yada. But it's America who actually funds the regional security system, really. They give them a lot of money. They train the people. These are the guys who go.
How much that was again, Mr. Cook?
2.6 million US dollars, which would amount to about probably 6 million ECR, so close to 7 million Eastern Caribbean dollars.
And this would have been, would have been under Trump, wouldn't it?
October last year, October 2024. The elections in the US is actually in November, so it would have been it would have been Biden, under Biden.
Okay. All right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. But the US is all about that, and so they are heavily involved in the security of the region. Barbados, no doubt, is a centerpiece because the headquarters, is there. So it is a centerpiece of the whole thing. And they have been coordinated with drug interdiction in the region for years. That's why the U.S. Coast Guard is in the region, running up and down all the time with these islands, and the RSS plays along with that. The RSS do overhead flights. They do look for drug boats as well. The plane is well equipped with a lot of equipment, state-of-the-art equipment that they can use to sort out drug boats running into the region. So it's not like the region is dull when it comes to looking for drug boats or drug interdiction and stuff like that. That is why people are saying you don't need an army in the region to deal with narco traffickers. So the RSS was well equipped. They've been doing an excellent job along with the U.S. Coast Guard cutter for a very long time. That's in the region for a very long time. So this is why I got very hot and very vexed, and it vexed my spirit to see people supporting the U.S. with their military intervention in the region, disturbing our peace. Because, and I will continue to say it, and a lot of people don't like it, but I will continue to say that every Monday morning that you wake up, the only country in the world that's fomenting a war somewhere is the United States of America. Nobody else is doing that, really. People don't like to hear it, but it is a fact of life. They're the only country waking up every Monday morning and saying, I'm going to launch a war someplace. You don't hear China saying, I'm going to invade Nigeria and Africa because somebody's killing somebody there. You don't hear them wake up and say they're going to invade South Africa. You don't hear them say they're going into someplace in South America. You don't hear Russia saying that either. Russia and Ukraine has a war going on. And I think for all intents and purposes, people need to be very, stop being biased with the US and look into why the war with Ukraine and Russia is going on. There is a reason why it is going on. But the only country in the world that's fomenting war every Monday morning is the United States of America. So that's just a part, but I just wanted to put that in for whatever it's worth. I mean, not amount to anything. Not even a hill of beans for some people, because some people have their head up the backside of the US. But the point about it is that the RSS, they have been given a lot of money over the years from the United States of America to do regional work here in terms of security. And so Barbados has been an integral part. And what I was saying, I don't know, I didn't catch the first part because I was called out to do something, but I wasn't sure if you had mentioned when the RSS was, created.
Yes, we
Right.
went in the history. So we did
Good.
origins of it and so on. So
Absolutely.
yeah, we can move the conversation along because what you pointed out there, Mr. Cook, you're thinking it's not important. It's very important, because if the RSS has been doing this job, then why is the U.S. It begs the question, really, why is the U.S. here? But let's move it along a little further. And I live in Barbados, and I would remember, all the Caribbean leaders, except Trinidad, remember, right? Except Trinidad says, "Oh no, this is a zone of peace," and this is what it's been done. Let me let that pass. Yeah. This is what has been done, on the surface. So on the surface, we're hearing Barbados. We're seeing them give these big speeches, and we're a zone of peace and all of these kinds of things. And I understand. I mean, the dilemma they're in. But who would have imagined, though, that, for example, there's a submarine. That's a fact. That is in the Caribbean waters, the southern Caribbean waters, right? And the question is, which Caribbean country would have given them the permission? Because in terms of protocol, if you're going to come into internal waters, somebody has to give permission.
Yes, somebody has to give permission. And clearly, they'll be working through. They will be working through with the RSS, with what is going on here. They will be working through with that. And of course, Barbados must give permission, as the headquarters is located, and along with all the other islands that are involved with the RSS. But remember, they have collective agreements already that says that if there is need for use in the region, if there is need for the US to occupy certain spaces and stuff like that through the regional security system, they have the right so to do. So basically, this agreement and all of that is already there. Yeah. So it's not like if anybody have to go over a whole new agreement just to say, okay, come in America, put your submarines there. These things are already in play. They're there. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't know, because nobody educates us on what the agreement of the RSS is. No prime minister have no time to educate anybody on that. All we hear them say from time to time is that they have agreements with the US in terms of security arrangements for certain things. You hear them say that from time to time. But do they go into the agreement? Do they tell you what it is? Do they tell you anything about what the RSS is really doing in the region, except for the material the RSS is doing drug interdiction? They don't say anything. Nobody educate anybody on these things. And in fact, all these children are going to school right now don't even know what the hell the RSS is doing. It's not even on your calendar. You don't even know what's happening with RSS. So, I mean, I am very sorry for Caribbean people on a whole and the way leaders keep them in this kind of, and somebody quietly said it there, the dark. Keep us in the dark. But there's something that I think you should know, Marcia, as well. There's something that during the Cold War period.
Yes.
The security environment in the Caribbean was, of course, characterized by a lot of heightened tension. And it caused some domestic and political, economic instability in the region.
We were doing that at the beginning of the show.
Right.
I was giving them the context why the RSS came about.
Exactly. So all of that is why, it came about. And basically, I was trying to look back to see during the birthing period where the RSS was only looking at maritime surveillance and all these things and just border security, the little thing now. And they were looking at some illicit trafficking as well. But the organization now has moved on. And so now they have what you call a sub-regional air wing.
Correct.
And of course, all that is resources supported by the United States of America. So people don't understand what we have really is like a hybrid. It's like a hybrid of the U.S. military in the region. It's a hybrid. That's all it is.
And not just that, Mr. Cook, but it's here. But it is. We need to understand that it is supported with surveillance, with finances. You just informed us that October 2024, the RSS here got $2.6 million US. And one would have to, and Obama financed it in a major way and expanded it.
Yes.
So one would have to really wonder what can the Caribbean leaders really do? Nothing.
But we've got to take a pin there because while the agreements do have clauses as to what can't be done and what can be done, it really talks about drug interdiction a lot, which is really the main crux of the RSS and some protection from certain things, right? But in terms of a war and having America put their assets in your waters, America still has to go through the protocol with your country.
That is the point.
You still have to go through the protocol.
Ernesto, I'm glad you raised that.
Yeah, it's not just because of the RSS. The RSS has nothing to do with that now.
Thank you. So so why, if you heard what Mr. Cook said, and that's that's what I researched as well, and I spoke to others who've been Ministry of Foreign Affairs, there's a protocol to it.
Correct.
That they don't just come and put their submarines in water, not internal waters.
No.
Who gave them, which country gave them permission?
Listen.
Let me tell you something. I want to say this.
Go ahead.
Before they start to call out Trinidad, I want to say to you, leave Trinidad's name out of this.
Correct.
Trinidad is not even in that agreement.
No.
We have a defense agreement with the U.S.
That's right.
We're going to come back to a little later, but go ahead, Mr. Cook.
No, I'm glad you said leave out Trinidad because Trinidad has nothing to do with it. Trinidad is not even a member of the regional security system. So let's leave that alone. It would be interesting to note, though, that Guyana is a member of the regional security system. That'd be very interesting. That is very interesting. I wonder. I sort of keep wondering why Guyana was actually in that. I keep wondering all the time.
But actually, anyway. I don't know. I'm looking here based on what I saw, though. We have to double check that one because it seems like Guyana and Trinidad did not sign, neither Jamaica. I'm seeing here, I'm not sure if they did later, but in 1982, it was only Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Okay? Absolutely.
So I don't know if later on, so we might have to leave Guyana's name out of it and look at the others here in CARICOM.
Well, actually, you don't have to leave Guyana name out of it. You don't have to, because Um, because in 2022, right,
Yeah.
there was a declaration that the Republic of Guyana would be signing on to the protocol as a member of the RSS. And in September of that same year, 2022, Guyana actually formally joined the RSS
Well,
after
there
the
you
president
go.
of Guyana signed the instrument of accession. So Guyana is actually a member
Actually,
of the
so they
RSS.
became a member later on. But the,
2022.
but here's the thing: the country that everybody is focused on,
No,
guys.
leave Trinidad out of that. Leave Trinidad out of that.
No,
Leave
no,
Trinidad
no.
out of that.
But we have to bring this up because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they are trying now to because
Mhm.
I asked. I think I sent you a question.
But you
And
know,
I wonder.
yes, 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 yes.
I wonder if Trinidad,
Mhm.
because they know they're not protected, I'm using that word loosely, or defended.
Yeah.
They won't be defended by the RSS based on the agreement.
Yeah.
Is it why Kamla, why the Prime Minister is so she's speaking in so boldly and backing the US because she knows that, hold a minute, if war should break out here, we are not defended. We're
Yeah.
not part of that defense pact. Is this a
Mhm.
strategic move by Kamala, by the president, the prime minister of Trinidad? And here it is, we are, everybody, is it that she's like, oh my goodness, what if something happens here? Let me come out and shout the loudest. I don't know,
Well,
but you know.
well, you know, Marcia, Trinidad, like any other island, right? Who does not have this massive military and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
They'll have to look for somewhere to get protection just in case something is to happen. So you can't blame Trinidad if they want to. And I've never blamed Trinidad to get in protection from anybody. I just thought that Trinidad rushed ahead
Mhm.
with the US in their killing, the extrajudicial
Can I
killing
say
of
devil's
people.
advocate? Did they have to rush ahead
That's my problem. Yes.
because listen,
Mhm.
the Ernesto, did they have to rush
Okay.
ahead
All right.
because
So,
they know they did not have the defense pact? They were
well,
not
listen.
in that defense pact.
Well, listen. You know what? If we want to give them a passing grade for that, maybe we could say today that yes, they rush ahead because they're not on the defense pact. Because if you look at what is happening with Guyana when they joined, look at when Guyana actually signed on. It was
Oh, that's true.
2022.
That's true.
That is
That's
when they had some little tabanka popping up, right? That's when all tabanka was popping up, right? So if you look at when they joined, you can see what is happening. So I don't
ah,
know. So maybe the Trinidad is thinking, look, I'm not in the pack. Things are happening with my neighbor, right? Things may pop off with my neighbor. I may be in the middle of it. So why should I look for some kind of protection somewhere? Yeah, I understand all of that. And I do believe that Trinidad, even before this, had an agreement with the US on security arrangements, based on what I've read. So there was still no reason for me to Trinidad to rush head along with the US and supporting them in their extrajudicial killings. That is what they're doing. They're illegal killings according to the Congress in the United States of America. Not me say so. That's what their congressmen are saying. Nobody should be bombing boats like that and not giving people due process, right?
yes.
So they could have been looking for something to protect themselves from what they perceive as their enemy. But Trinidad is not in the RSS, so I'm giving them a rest today with that one. But yeah, I'm giving her a rest. I'm giving Kamla a rest today on that one. So, but Guyana joined in 2022, which is just simply amazing.
Can you explain that a little bit, because we know what we're talking about and we try to, as you know, we try to educate. Go a little bit more in that, Mr. Cook.
You mean with the Guyana issue?
You're cooking today. You're cooking.
The Guyana one?
Yes.
Well,
Why do you think? Tell the people what your reason why do you
I
think
mean,
they got?
for me personally, when all of the shebang started with Venezuela and Guyana and the border issue, Guyana does have, security arrangements, yes, with the United States of America, like and plenty other countries do, but it goes to a limited extent. But the point about it is that whether it's for training of their defense force, whether it's for these kind of things, a lot of countries have that, right? But some countries don't have the pack where you said if you touch Barbados, you touch the United States of America, and the US military will intervene. Most
Yes.
of the Caribbean countries don't have that defense pact with the US. What they have is in drug interdiction, training of their police and stuff like that. They will get training and stuff like that, or military training. That's why they have trade winds operation every year, and they have it in different countries where they will train the policemen, where they will train your defense forces and certain things. So they have trade winds exercises every year, and the US military would come in. So those are the kind of arrangements that these islands have with the US when it comes to those things. They don't have a defense pact where they said if you touch St. Vincent, you touch the US, so we'll blow you to smithereens. They don't have that kind of defense pact, right? So Guyana, when all of these things popped up with Venezuela and shot with Maduro, and Maduro said, well, Cuba belongs to me, and this belongs to me, and I want it, and all of these things popped up between Ali and Maduro. That is when you saw Guyana really popping into the RSS, right? So they went a little further for the US to train their security agents, to train their police and all of that. So being a part of the RSS now, they have more of what you call it now, a base of a security really from that the US offers to us in terms of all the training and stuff like that. So they got in when all of the thing popped up with Venezuela, really, with the border issue. So they joined, right? So it means more training for their police from the US, more training for their defense force from the US. They could be a part of the trade winds exercises and all of that because they're part of the RSS. I hope people understand what's happening here. But as you can see now, and you would have heard from time to time where the US would have had press conferences in Guyana, especially their ambassadors, where they said that we have certain arrangements with Guyana for certain protections, right? They wouldn't go into those things in detail, but I think if you have a head on your body, you actually know what that is all about. No, I'm serious. If people have a head on their body, they will know what that is all about, right? When you hear they said they have certain security arrangements and certain protections from the United States, I think anybody with a level head would know what they're talking about. And that is why the Guyanese would say, well, if Maduro wanted to play bad and invade, he know what he could be facing. So I think they have a level of understanding as to what is going on. So everybody would seek their protection in some sort of way. You just heard Qatar, they signed a defense pact with the US, that if you touch Qatar, it now touch the United States of America. So they would intervene militarily if China were to put their foot on Qatar, or Russia want to put their foot on Qatar, the US would intervene militarily, which means that will be an all-out war now if you touch Qatar. So those are some of the arrangements that you. But I have not seen any of those arrangements signed with any Caribbean country outside. So I probably would wait for the day when I hear Barbados say we've signed a defense pact with the United States, that if you touch Barbados, you touch the US. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what they say, according to the agreement, is that if there's any coup or if there's an invasion,
yes,
right, then they'll come and they will, because the RSS is there.
Yes.
Their motto is to preserve stability.
Correct.
In the region. So anything really that makes the region there's any kind of instability, because remember, they consider us an extension of them. Right?
Yes, they do.
You see, so they play that role, for us, which is why they're doing the training, the surveillance tech, and as I said, Obama kind of expanded it a bit through the Caribbean basin initiative there, right?
Yes.
So it's not just a regional defense body; it is part of Washington's.
I did say the hybrid
security grid. So we become in this hemisphere. We become basically the eyes and the ears and everything for the U.S. because we're part of their security grid. Because they're not putting money into this hemisphere for nothing. Into the U.S. We're called the U.S. Southern Command.
Yeah, but Marcia, it is. I understand what you're saying there, and I agree with you 100% because it is fact. Mm-hmm. But what I don't get is like, why is it that the only thing that the US can really support is just war machines?
Thank you.
I have an eternal problem, and somebody just made it right. Colonialism never ended. I just can't wrap my head around it. Why is it that the only thing that they can fund to the tune of billions is only a war machine? Why is it that they don't fund to the tune of billions education? Why they don't fund to the tune of billions ending poverty in the region? If this is the region's poverty stricken. Why they don't tune to the billions of the? I mean, every Monday morning, these countries go cap in hand with a begging bowl to the IMF or World Bank or somebody to look for an extra loan to burden you, your family, and others to pay more taxes so that they can pay back the loans to these institutions. Why is it that our leaders don't say to these people, place the billions of dollars into education, into helping us develop our countries, expand our industries so that we can trade more sufficiently with you? Why is it that we just allow them to always have this backyard adventure? It's a backyard adventure America is having on us, you know. It's a backyard adventure. So they have their slides, they have their rides,
I love
and
it.
they have their clowns who stand up at the gate controlling the ride, who are the prime ministers and the presidents of countries in these regions. They are the ones collecting and they're at the gate to help people with the slides and the rides and to go in the water thing and in the little rubber ducky thing and all these things. It's a backyard adventure for them. That is what it is. I live to see the day, and I hope before the good Lord takes me out of this side of planet Earth that I see a prime minister or a president of one of this country who will tell them, spend some billions on education in the region. Spend some millions and hundreds of millions on and boosting the industries that we have so we could do fair trade across the board. So that if you put on a 10% tariff on us, we can put on a 10% tariff on you. So that everybody will live good in this part. But nobody does that, you know. Nobody does that. They allow them every time they tell them they want to expand the war machine. These leaders allow them to expand the war machine. And that's the problem I have with the leaders that we have, or the so-called leaders that we have in this part of the region. I don't like to get into these discussions too deep because it
I
takes a
know.
toll. It takes a toll on my well-being
You get
because
passionate, but I want you to, following on to, with what you just, the point, that very important point that you
yeah,
just made there,
yeah.
Mr. Cook. You know, we all, as Black people, we love Obama,
I don't
right?
know. I don't know if all black
No, no,
people do
I'm
love Obama.
speaking generally. You know,
Okay.
yeah. But he, when you look at the history of the RSS, I have
Yeah.
to look at the figures. You know, but it appeared as though he kind of revived it,
Yeah,
and
he did.
when he brought and the research says that he you know, funneled a lot of money in the RSS. All right. Now the one needed to ask the same question that you're
Yes.
asking.
Yes.
What about the other sectors of society? Why does it have to be military with them all the time? Biden was leaving office in October, and based on what you're sharing us, he put $2.6 million,
Yes.
right, into this military arm. There, it's nothing to do with us. It's there. It's an extension of their security. Okay, for them in this hemisphere. Is it that they knew what they were planning to do? And I think that these are kind of the kind, and this is why when you look at someone like Deacon Mitchell
Mm-hmm.
of Grenada, he's the one that just have my head hurting me, you know. And I'm thinking, is it that um do we have to then try to understand why it is that he can't really make up his mind? Because he knows, listen, he can't say no. Is it that he really can't say no? If it is that all of this with the submarine and all of that, somebody apart from Trinidad gave them that authority to put the submarine in the Caribbean Sea, right? In the southern part of the Caribbean Sea. Is it that poor Deacon Mitchell cannot say no? Is that the situation here, Mr. Cook?
Deacon. Deacon is now caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. Deacon does not know if to hold on to the devil or if to plunge into the deep blue sea. For him, at this time, everything is a death warrant, really. At this point in time, everything spells a death warrant. You hold on to the devil, you die. You get into the deep blue sea, you die. He does not know what to do right now. He absolutely does not know what to do right now. And I am looking at him, listening to his conversation. I saw a piece in the Guardian newspaper in Trinidad, and it's just somebody who is literally caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, managing the affairs of home, the affairs of his political career, and have to manage how he handles the United States of America. That could never be something for a weak person to deal with. It can never be. I keep saying all the time, Marcia, a lot of people are afraid to lose their visas to the United States of America. A lot of people are afraid to lose the niceties in life. You hear them talk all the time about standing up for something. Mia Motley goes to the UN and she preach a good talk and she says, yada, 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 whatever. And everybody says, and everybody play clips of Mia Motley as the shebang of the Western Hemisphere. She's so great. Nobody wants to lose the niceties of life. People talk a good talk. That's all they do. When it's time to walk the walk, nobody wants to do it. Because everybody feel that a big hand will come over and plunge them into the ground. And that big hand is the United States of America. Deacon is in a rock and a hard place. I'm listening to him, I'm hearing him, and he songs to me as if he's already given up and will give in to the United States of America. That is how he songs to me. Other people may say, no, 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 no. But that's how he songs to me. And it must be hard for him. Maybe we have to just give him a chance, because it must be really hard for him sitting down in a seat where they say, uneasy lies the person who wears the crown, something like that, right? So it must be really hard for him. And maybe I will have to just give him a chance, because maybe we're not sitting in his seat. Somebody may say we're not sitting down in his seat, so we don't understand the pressures that has come to bear when you have to decide and choose about how your economy would look in 2 months' time if you say no, and how it would look in 2 months' time if you say yes, and how you will look politically in 2 years' time if you say no, and how you will look 2 years' time if you say yes. So it must be really hard for him when you can't decide if you have a country that you can say, you know what, let me see, what am I exporting from Grenada? And when I think about it, they are banning me exporting tuna to the US from January 2026. Let me look around and see, what am I exporting to the US? Maybe nothing much. What am I importing? Oh, everything to the tune of billions of dollars. Oh, let me see. Where are the cruise ships coming from? Out of Miami. Where are the flights coming from? The eastern seaboard of the United States of America. Okay. Should I just sign on the dotted line? Man, would I be able to get another term in office? Oh my God, what am I gonna do? Let me see. Should I pick up the phone and call Comrade Ralph? Comrade Ralph, what should I really do? Well, Deacon, my boy, I'll support whatever you decide to do. Whatever. Okay. Let me call the one in St. Lucia, Pierre. Pierre, what do you think? Well, I'm going with what Comrade said. Whatever you decide, I'll support you.
Did he call me a Motley? Call me a Motley. Me a Motley said, but man, give a good speech.
Hold on, let me call. No, let's leave her for last. Let me call Scarrett. Scarrett, what are you saying out there, my friend? Well, whatever Comrade decide, I'll go with the Comrade and you. Okay, so Comrade said that I should, whatever I do, he'll support. Okay, Deacon, whatever you do, I'll support. Okay, let me call Mia. Mia's a real dog out here. She's a real alpha dog in this race. Let me call Mia. Okay. Hey, Mia, what's up? It's Deacon. Hey, what's up, Deacon? What's going on? Yeah. No, I'm just wanting your advice on this thing with the US and the radar. Well, let me tell you something, man. Just give them a damn good speech. You want me to write the script for you? You want me to write the script for you? The script will song as if you support the US and still not support them. It will song as if based on what you're doing, you will win the next election, no problem at home. I can write the script for you. You want me to get my advisors to write the script for you? Man, they do a damn good job on my scripts for the UN, man. Yeah, they do a good script. They do a good job all the time. Man, just give the damn Americans a thing. Your economy will look good in the next 2 months. I'm telling you, man, you'll get more flights from the US as a matter of fact. Man, you will win the election. I will come and campaign for you. I will tell the people of Grenada that you're the damn best thing this guy ever had. Man, you will win. Don't bother with them. Don't bother with these stupid people talking on YouTube and all these foolish people talking about, oh, yeah. Man, give them the space. All right, Mia, maybe I'll just go with you. All right, then. Okay.
And that's what he did. He tried to he didn't answer the question.
Yeah.
He pulled a Mia on the people of Grenada and gave them a good speech. And let me just remind the people of just some key key issues between the US and Grenada. Just some dates there. In March 2025, Grenada's just March here, Grenada's finance minister, Dennis Cornwell, publicly announced that he and other government ministers were willing to renounce their US visas.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
And this is because of the Cuba medical missions program.
Correct.
In August 2025, the US formally revoked all types of US visas, B1, B2, A1 held by Cornwall and his estranged wife and all of that, right? And then the US State Department also announced visa restrictions targeting government officials and their families from Grenada. This is why what you were saying, Mr. Cook, is very important. For alleged complicity in the Cuban medical mission scheme. The Grenadian Foreign Affairs Ministry. You see the hot water Deacon is in? The Grenadian Foreign Ministry confirmed that they had not received as yet formal written correspondence about the full list of affected officials that would lose their visas.
So my point. So go ahead.
Let me add another one. Right. Relatedly, the U.S. passed legislation later affecting Grenadians that tightened conditions under which holders of Grenada's citizenship by investment program could gain an E2 visa to the U.S.
Yes.
You see that? So this is affecting their citizen by investment, where people would believe, okay, I could become a citizen of Grenada and it would make it easier for me to get a US visa. America said, no. They passed a legislation that tightened the conditions, those conditions. And the last thing I'll say is this. Remember, individual Grenadian officials, Mr. Cook and viewers, right? What the visa revocation means this: the inability to travel to the US, not just for personal business, but for official business. They want to go to the IMF to go beg money, World Bank meetings, right? All of those things are going to be affected. So all of them, not just Deacon Mitchell, they are going to be they're talking big, giving big speeches, but they're going to walk a nice thin line there because they don't want their visas revoked. None of them. Just agree with you.
So I am correct. I have been correct. I will continue to be correct in what I'm saying. Nobody wants to lose the niceties of life. And when they look around, and you just mentioned a lot of points there, which emphasizes that there's a stranglehold on the economy.
Yes, sir.
So let's get it off, okay? That's what I'm saying to you. It's the visa. It's the niceties of life. These people talk a lot of good talk. I keep telling you that all the time, right? They did. You remember when they had this immigration thing popped up when Trump was saying go send home people, right? And Mia said, take the blast. Mia basically said, take the blast visa. I mean, I want it, right? Take it if you want it, right? Have you heard anything since then?
Say that again. Come to the front of the class. I tell you, you're cooking today.
You remember?
Come to the front of the class because you remember she was saying take the visa, but
she was saying take the visa. Take the visa.
and he's still sending it. Trump. I mean, immigration thing going on still. But
That's
what
correct.
happened to
That's
Mia's
correct.
visa?
But you realize, but she just went to the UN, right? She went to the UN, right? She's having a happy time. Nobody, listen to me. Let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to go through any pressure in life, really. Nobody. You would be a fool to just have, Marcia would be a fool to just have a happy life and to decide she wants to go through hard times. Marcia would be a fool to do that. Marcia would be a fool to have a US visa, can go to shop in Manhattan in what do you call it? Fifth Street? I can't remember the place in Manhattan name. I can't remember Fifth Avenue, whatever it is, Saks and all. Yes.
Saks, yeah.
Marcia would be a fool to be able to have a visa to go to the US and shop on Fifth Avenue for Gucci and Prada, right? She would be a fool to give up that, to just come here every day and talk about, man, Trump and them should stop, knowing that if she goes to the US embassy for visa, they might just tell her, listen to me, you don't like us, so you don't know visa here. You think anybody have any interest? Marcia, let me tell you something, a lot of people who listen to us on a daily basis, they listen, they listen and they talk and they say, yes, I agree with all of you. You think they will come and do what you me doing? You think they will come and do what me and you doing? No, they don't, but nobody wants to lose a visa, Marcia. I'm telling you, nobody wants to stand up for anything. A lot of people don't want to stand up for anything, and that is why they're falling for everything now. That is what is happening in this region here. And when you talk like this, they say, well, you don't shut up. You could do anything to big America. And the same damn mentality we trying to take out your brain.
So the question is, why are we offloading on Kamla? Now, I understand the point that you make, that I mean, these are extradition killings, right?
Yes.
So I understand that. But apart from that, really, can't one see that Kamla is doing what Mia Mottley is doing? Because Kamla is not part of the RSS. Could one see that Kamla is being strategic, strategically operating on behalf of our country? I'm asking the question, why are we offloading on Kamla? Isn't she doing what every other Caribbean country is doing?
Well, I was offloading on Kamla because I thought, and I keep saying, that she rushed to judgment in supporting the US in their killing of people without due process. You should not be remembered as a leader who helped the Americans to kill people without due process, and in the end fomented a war into a sovereign state. Kamla would be remembered for that. That the history books would write that about her. When the history of the Caribbean is written, that would be written next to her name. I do not think that she wanted something like that next to her name. And that is why I have been offloading on her for the bad decisions that she have made in that regard.
But hold a minute. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're going to say what I'm saying, because I want to put, I told you before, a different perspective, because the same way that we can look and we see what's happened with Deacon Mitchell, as much as I'm so frustrated with him. I've given up on him.
Listen.
You have redeemed him in my eyes. I can understand the dilemma that he's in. I say, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is put in a similar dilemma. She has not signed, her country did not sign like the rest of them to say, okay, we're part of this military defense
organization. Listen to me.
She's not, so she has to come out front to protect her country.
Yeah, and I said that, and I said that I don't have a problem. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem if Trinidad and Tobago wants to have a pact with the US to say, offer me some security protections. I have no problem with that. That is for a country to decide. But I don't have a problem with that. That is outside of what we're dealing with now in terms of what the US. She's actually helping the US to foment a war, not only of aggression on Caribbean people, but also helping the US to go and invade a sovereign nation that has not threatened the US militarily. There's some differences, There's some serious differences.
But they threatened Guyana, though. He threatened Guyana.
And that, yeah, but that's why I said to you that if you listen to what the ambassador of the US keeps saying in Guyana, that they have certain security arrangements with Guyana. Right? And I want to believe they're not saying it straight to your face, but when you hear an ambassador say they have certain security arrangements with a country, it means that the United States basically would lend a helping hand militarily if that country is really attacked. To a certain extent, they would lend a helping hand. You understand? That is what she's basically saying. So that is Guyana, right? I have not heard I have not heard Trinidad government saying that we have certain security arrangements.
They're not going to say it though. But
No. But you see, that is where it is wrong. That is where it is absolutely wrong, right? The United States came out and said, we just signed a defense pact with Qatar. What is the difference between Qatar and Trinidad and Tobago? There's no damn difference. They're all countries and islands, whatever you want to say. So if the United States can come out and say, we just signed a defense pact with Qatar to defend them in case of anything, you think the United States will be afraid to come out and say they signed a defense pact with Trinidad?
Can I ask you a question there, Mr.?
No, they will not be afraid to come out and say that.
But can I ask you a question there, sir?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question on behalf of Kamla?
Yes, please, go right ahead.
And I know the people in the comment section, they're like, oh, she loves, not about loving Kamla. I just want to present for us to look at it in a balanced way. All right? If we're going to go on the premise, and it's facts, let's deal with facts. The facts are there that Trinidad is not part of that RSS pact, then that agreement that was made in the 80s, and therefore they might feel vulnerable if a war should break out in the region. Correct. There are 11 kilometers, is it, from
about 9, I think 9 or so. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Some kilometers, very, very close to Venezuela. So could it be that when Rubio went to Trinidad, he says to them, listen, somebody's going to go down here and you might get caught in it. Okay. And could it be that they say to them that, listen, we're going to protect you, but we need you to do these things here. This is what we need you to do. We want you to come out and we want you to be in public support of what we're doing. We want you to lend this, we want to do that. Could it be that she's caught just like Deacon Mitchell between what you said, the blue sea,
the devil and the deep blue sea,
the devil and the blue, and because no, she's even in a Deacon Mitchell. Actually, they have signed the pact, all of them, Mia and all of them, but Kamla did not. Trinidad didn't. Could it be that she's caught between a rock and a hard place?
If the United States has signed a defense pact with Trinidad and Tobago, the whole world would know that. That is not something to hide. Okay? That is not something to hide. If the government of Barbados goes and signs a defense pact, because a defense pact is really different from a security arrangement, right? There's a difference with that. Okay? So what most of these islands would have signed with the US is a security arrangement, which talks about training your police, training your,
and also for
right,
invasion,
and for right. So that's a different from a defense pact. That's totally different from a defense pact. A defense pact is that if Venezuela invades Trinidad, it invades the United States of America, and so the US will come out guns a-blazing into Venezuela because they have touched somebody that belongs to us. That's a different thing altogether. And if Kamala actually had signed a defense pact with the United States, she ought to be straight with the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, we might ask the citizens to find that out, because I am just wondering if it's because she felt insecure. Yeah. That caused her to publicly stand with the US. No, Ricardo, and I'm no way supporting. You see what I told you, that this is what they're going to do now, and say I am the one supporting the regression, the stagnancy and abuse of the Caribbean by the US. No, I'm not. What I'm doing, Shepard and others, is, as we have discussed the issue with Deacon Mitchell, in a balanced way, looking at all sides. And that's what we did here. We're not in agreement with Deacon Mitchell in not coming up front and speaking to their people. And I'm not in agreement with Kamla if she signed something with the US in coming up. But I do understand the two scenarios.
Yes,
I do. I understand it. These are human beings. They are leaders. Nobody's perfect. But I don't think if we're not going to offload on Deacon, should we, can we, you know, and I have a problem too, Mr. Cook.
Well, this
with,
go ahead.
With the aggression that is coming from Venezuela towards Kamla.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I am going to agree with you on that 100%. I think that the aggression from Venezuela to Trinidad and Tobago, in terms of to the Prime Minister, Prime Minister, not Trinidad, to the Prime Minister specifically.
Yes.
While I understand that they don't like what she did in terms of supporting the U.S. war of aggression on them, right? I think that they should really point that aggression towards the United States of America, because in the end, it won't be Trinidad that will be invading Venezuela if they do have a war. It will be the U.S. doing that, right? If Trinidad is used as a launch pad, then Venezuela have all right to retaliate on Trinidad and Tobago in terms of the country itself, right? Because you're part of the war. But I think plenty of the aggression I see coming out against her personally from the government of Venezuela, I think it's unwarranted. I think it's unwarranted.
I agree.
That's for me personally. Me
too. I think
if I were Maduro, I would be offloading those personal attacks on Trump.
Thank you.
Because he's the one really gone badging to invade my country. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
So I when it comes to that, I will defend Kamla 100% when it comes to the war of words on her person. I would be her top lawyer in that regard. I can do those things and do those things without bias towards anybody. I can do those things because I see what is happening. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? I can do those things. I know how to have level across all parties. I said I don't like the war of aggression on her personally, not Trinidad, but on her personally. He should turn those war of words into Trump. Secondly, I have offloaded on Kamla because I thought in this regard now that she rushed too quick with the US in helping them being a part of their lynching of people in the Caribbean Sea without any due process. I have said that, and I will keep on saying that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago also, Trinidad and Tobago has a right, and I've said that before and I'll say it again, have a right to find anybody who can defend them from anything. I have no problem with any country signing any kind of defense pact with any nation if they think they don't have an army to defend them against any kind of aggression from anybody. So you see, I'm being very fair to Kamla. Very fair. I'm being very fair. But I am saying again, I will offload on her in the regard of rushing to judgment and rushing to side with the US on their lynching of people in the Caribbean Sea without due process, and in that regard have also allowed the US to end the livelihood of many people who fish in the Caribbean Sea. Whether or not you like it, fishermen from our country are suffering. Fishermen from St. Vincent are suffering. Fishermen from Grenada are suffering. I know a lot of them who go into the southeastern Caribbean to fish for tuna and other big fish, and they don't go anymore because they don't want to hold up a white flag every day saying, I am innocent, I am innocent. They may just be bombed as well. And you have Trump saying, not even fishermen are going out to sea anymore. He's laughing. And that is why I said he's laughing at ending the economic viability of a lot of people's lives in this Caribbean, and he's laughing about it. People got vexed when I said so, but he said it at a table. He laughed and he said, not even the fishermen are going out anymore. I mean, look at it. Not even the fishermen are going out anymore. So he's laughing when he said that. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen, Ernest Cook,
Anyway, my pot is bubbling.
No, go ahead.
It has
What are you
some
cooking today?
young banana in it. It has some it has some cassava. It has piece of edo. It has some dashin and tanya. I have piece of plantain as well, so I get my natural sugars. You understand what I'm saying to you, Marcia?
Yes,
I have
yes.
all of that. It's bubbling right now. It's smelling really good, and I am
Can I
going to.
tell you? Can
Yes,
I
go
tell
ahead.
you what I'm cooking?
Go
So
ahead. Go ahead.
you have Tanya. You said you have Tanya.
Some tanya. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just, it's all vegetable for me. So I have some Jamaican callaloo. I'm doing a
Yes.
Jamaican callaloo soup.
Yes.
Really, and I put a little okras, some okras in it, and that's what I have there on the fire. You know, we're Caribbean people,
I
and we
have.
just talk about we talk
Ah,
about food. But I thought today was important when we
yes. Yes.
established, the countries that have signed on with the
Yes.
RSS,
Yes. Yes.
and they have that security. In case there's a coup, invasion,
Yes. Yes.
whatever else, that the US will come to their aid. And we've established that Trinidad is not part of that,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
we've looked at all sides with Deacon Mitchell, and we still know he didn't make a decision. And we are saying that yes, Kamala jumped the gun and in going out, but it could be because of her insecurity, Trinidad's insecurity in not signing on to that, for want of a better word, that
Yes.
defense pact, for want of a
Yes.
better
Yes.
word,
Yes.
the
Yes.
RSS not having that added security around her. She went out too quick. So, guys, I thought this is I learned a lot on this
Yeah.
show today.
Me too. Me too. I,
Yeah.
I have somebody put in the chat and asked what about the meat, not hearing what about the meat in the pot. The meat in the pot. I
What
don't
meat?
eat. I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat every day. Sometimes I skip weeks before I eat meat. If I eat meat, it has to be a local fowl that I killed myself. Take it out.
You
I
kill the
don't.
fowl? You
Yeah,
actually
well,
kill?
after a while, I rail them and wring the neck when I'm ready. But the point about it is that no, I want my meat. The meat I eat has to be what I'm grown by my. I know there's no pesticide in it. You understand? No chemical in my meat. I don't want that kind of meat. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Um, I eat a lot of things in space of the meat to give me my protein. Okay, so I have my meals well prepared. Yesterday I had the belange, I had the okra, I had the I think there was some callaloo. Yes, the callaloo was there. I had oh my god, I had the string beans. I had all these things. I see. People ask me where I get this vigor and this pump from.
Yes.
This is when you don't. This is when you don't toxify your body with the American food. You
We need to have
understand?
we need to, when this whole thing is over, we need to have a show on just food,
I think
because
so. I think
yeah,
so.
we
I think
should,
so.
because I'm just doing just doing
As a,
vegetables right now.
no, but as a matter of fact, you should invite people. You should invite people next week. A lot of them on the show next week or even the week after. A lot of them talking about food all the time. They must invite some of them to come on and share their pots, their various dishes. You
Dishes
understand?
that they're
No,
cooking,
we could change it up and put some positivity, give them some hope about what we can continue eating in the Caribbean, good food,
yes,
You don't have
yes.
to give them, as the people say, you don't have to give them a gloom and doom every week. You could give them a you could give them something positive to run on.
But the funny thing about it, you will watch and see. So many of them probably wouldn't even watch. They love the excitement.
It's true,
Somebody,
you're
you got
right.
$5. You got $5. Look at that.
A super stick. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for the super sticker. I thank you all very much. I will continue to plant okra. I will continue to plant cabbage, lettuce, all of that stuff.
You
With
have
that money, I will.
okras. I have okras too. I'm planting Tanya.
Yes,
I'm planting. We should bring a picture of our garden.
I will do
I'm
that.
planting Tanya. I have
Yes,
okra. I have sweet potatoes.
yes,
And what else I have? I have melons too.
right. I
And
yes,
callaloo,
that's
Jamaican
very
callaloo.
important. That's very important. That's very
Yes.
important.
Yeah, somebody
Um,
said that sounds great. I will see if they will still even watch the show. We could do a little video of our gardens. How about that? And then
I don't
show
have a
that.
problem. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah.
I don't have the sweet potato. I still buy the sweet potato from the market. I don't have the sweet potato though. I don't have that
I'm
one. But
trying with it because when I try, I don't normally get. Well, let me speak positively. The last
yeah.
couple times, nothing was on there when I dug it up. But I'm trying. Somebody's helping me along and telling me what to do. So I'm hoping that I can reap some now.
Okay. Okay. Well, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good.
Yes.
Well, I am going to eat now. I am going to get out of this tongue and eat my food. I hope you
Yeah.
guys have a good day. All of you, all of the from the bacchanal land of Trinidad, have a good day. From the land of the flying fish, Barbados. Um, from the land of the oil dung, I think that is dung in Grenada.
Grenada is oil dung, I think.
And the jab jab,
Saint
right?
Lucia. Saint Lucia is what? It's a soup. That soup that they
Correct,
have with
correct,
beans
correct,
with
correct,
a.
correct.
I can't
Tell
remember
you
the
the
name.
truth, I don't even know what Simmons is. Simmons have so much thing I don't know what to tell you. They have one time they said breadfruit and saltfish. The next time they say jackfish and breadfruit.
Oh my
I
gosh.
One time people says KFC is the national dish. I don't know. I gone. I go see you all. Have a good day.
Bye bye, folks. Let there be peace.
Let there be
Bye,
peace. Let there be
guys.
peace.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
All
Thank
right.
you, Dr.
Okay.
Ernest.